How's it going, guys? Short little video. I'm gonna show you how to set up Tradovate and pretty much what Tradovate is. Tradovate is a platform that you guys can use to trade on. I mean, you see in a lot of my videos, that's what platform I'm using. So pretty much how to set up Tradovate. Usually it would already be set up with something, but I usually like to clear off the desk. This is pretty much like your workspace. You got the time up here, CDT. You got your balance. You got your margin. All these right here are different things. You got achievements that you can unlock. There's a help desk, community indicators. So these would usually be your default settings. So how I like to do it is I'll keep it in the candlesticks. Sometimes I'll change the colors. So I usually change the color of the red one to like purple. So it'll just be green and purple. And then I'll get rid of the grid. Current position. All current position is like, say I move here, it'll actually move me back. So I get rid of that so I can move freely. I show all when it comes to the orders and trades, as you can see. The other thing I like to do is I'll add the price levels. So the opening price, which will be that blue line. So what the market opened up as, the high of the day, which you can see. I'll also add the low of the day and then the last traded price. So the price is trading at right now. Those are all that I'll add. Sometimes you can do the middle price. The middle price is pretty much the median. So where price tended to stay relatively at, depending, because it's pretty much an average from the high and the low. That's the median. But so the other thing I like to add is I like to add a day volume profile. So this shows you all the contracts, so you can also see, I like to look and see where the contracts mostly being conducted. I mean, you can see there's a huge spike right here at this 24,105. So a lot of contracts were held and placed at this level. I mean, there's really nothing different. This is a time period, so you can look at the different ranges. Right now we're on the 15 minutes, so each candle is 15 minutes. 30 minutes retrospective, would each candle would be 30 minutes. We could go to the 1 minute, which is pretty much every candle is 1 minute. You could also do custom time frames, so you could set it per minute, you could set it per tick, volume, range, momentum, seconds. So you could do a 500-second chart, so every 500 seconds the candle changes. You can do the daily, all that, but this is the first chart I usually look at. Now I do add a second chart. The second chart I just add right here to the side. What I like to do is I like to add the ES chart. The reason being is because the ES and the NASDAQ are pretty much correlated. So I'll go into another video talking about it, but I usually have these two charts definitely open. So this I'll pretty much do the same exact thing. Usually I don't really change the colors of it because it doesn't really matter. I don't trade it, but I just use it for reference. So we'll add I don't really have to add pretty much everything. I just add the market depth and the day volume profile, so just so I can see. And then I add the price levels, so the open, high, low, and that's pretty much it. So now I minimize this. This chart, the ES, I like to look on the 15 or 5 minute. 15 minute to see the overall move, but the 5, as you can see, we're pushing up. This is pushing up. Another thing I like to add is I like to add the TNS. So what does that mean? That means that's the tick and stream. So I like to add it like right here. So the only one I'll add usually is the NASDAQ. So pretty much this is right now, it's showing you all the contracts that are being conducted, whether it's a short or a long, buy or sell. And you can see the price that they got in at, the size, and then the account. I usually like to put this up because, I mean, if you have it on one, you're going to see pretty much everything, every contract conducted on the market, right? You could also see the total volumes. So these are how many contracts are being traded right now at this point in time. You can see the last price, the percentage difference. So we're up 0.37%. So I usually like to keep this pretty high. I like to keep this anywhere between 10 to 20, just because at 10 to 20 contracts, it's about roughly $10,000 to $20,000 being conducted. So these are like the bigger boys. I mean, you could do 100, but you very rarely see like 100 contracts placed at a single time. You'll see some bids and offers, but it's very few and far between. So I usually keep it anywhere between 10 to 20. 20 is usually on like a very volatile day. Like you'll see, as you can see. So you can see someone placed a buy at 24,100 and they put 26 contracts on. So I like to look at this. Very helpful, insightful. Tells me what the bigger players are doing. I also add one more thing, and the last thing is called the Super Dom. So all the Super Dom is I usually just add the Nasdaq. So this is pretty much the bid and ask being conducted, transacted. You can see the price. I only have it on level 1 because I really don't care too much about the future prices. I usually indicate that via the histogram. As you can see, the histogram shows how many contracts are at each level. As you can see, there's about 1,200 contracts at this level, 1,000 contracts at this level. The other thing I like to do is I'll add a couple other things. So I'll add the estimated P&L and ticks. That's what I like to look at. So I can see if I do place a trade, I can see, okay, the P&L via ticks and everything. But I could go more in depth talking about how I place a trade, how I look at stuff and stuff like that. But yeah.